Sorry.
Hello and welcome to Halesworth United Reformed Church Messy Church. I'm Jo, the Children and Family and Youth Worker, and this is Alan, Hannah and Luca, my family here in Lowestoft. Today we're going to be talking about believing and doubting. And so we've got a few scenarios for you to think about. Do you believe these things or do you doubt them? If you believe, give us a thumbs up. If you doubt, have a little think about it. So, the first one. M&M's, 50 years ago, made sugar-coated peas because there was a shortage of chocolate. Do you believe that? Or do you doubt it? Did M&M's make sugar-coated peas because of the chocolate shortage? Thumbs up? Or not sure? Well, this did not happen. M&M's did not make sugar-coated peas. So if you doubted it, you are absolutely right. Second scenario. Do tigers have striped skin as well as striped fur? If you believe that this is true, give us a thumbs up. If you doubt it, then have a little think about it. Do tigers have striped skin and striped fur? What do you think? The answer here is correct. Tigers do have striped skin as well as striped fur. Question number 3. Here's a good one. If you put your underwear in the freezer after you've washed it, the elastic is going to last longer. Okay, do you think that's a good one? So, if you think the elastic in your underwear will last longer by putting it in the freezer, give us a thumbs up. If you're not sure, have a little think about it. Doubt that's going to work. Will the elastic in your underwear last longer if you put it in the freezer? Absolutely not. Do not try this at home. It's not a good idea. Well done for the first 3 questions so far. Now the next 3 are about us. So, number 1. Hannah here. Does Hannah have a trampoline in her bedroom? Do you believe this? If you believe it's true, give us a thumbs up. If you doubt that she can have a trampoline in her bedroom, have a little think about it. So, Hannah, do you have a trampoline in your bedroom?
I do. I have a little exercise one.
So, if you had your thumbs up, well done, you were right. Hannah exercises on her trampoline in her bedroom.
I want an
Number 2. So, last week, Luca and Alan were walking along the beach and one of them tripped over a seal. If you believe it, thumbs up. If you doubt it, have a think about it. Did Alan or Luca trip over a seal last week while walking along Lowestoft Beach? Well, did you trip over a seal? Nope, Luca didn't trip over a seal. Alan, did you trip over a seal?
No, I didn't.
They didn't trip over a seal. Did you see any seals?
Yes, I did.
Alan saw a seal. Did you see a seal?
No.
No, it was myself and Alan went for a walk along Lowestoft Beach last week. We nearly tripped over the seal because it was so camouflaged, but after a little bit of a shock, we managed to get out the way and keep safe away. So well done if you got that one right. The last one is about me. Quite a few years ago now, I went to Zimbabwe. The question is, when I went to Zimbabwe, did I go whitewater rafting and visit a crocodile farm? So, if you think I went whitewater rafting and visited a crocodile farm, thumbs up. If you doubt it, hand on chin. What do you think? Well, the answer is, I'm afraid not. There were 7 of us who went to Zimbabwe together. 5 of them went whitewater rafting, and me and my friend went to see the crocodiles at the farm. So, well done if you got that one right as well. In a little while, we'll be thinking a bit more about doubting and believing in our story, but before we do that, we're going to sing a song. that talks about how God can do anything at all. Another great song by Doug Hawley. And Hannah and Luca are going to show you the actions. It's lots of clapping. If you think you can do the great clapping, it goes like this. It goes clap, clap, right, clap, left, clap, back, front, clap.
Oh, you did it.
Okay, so let me show you with Hannah. Clap, right, clap, left, clap, back, front, clap. Okay, if that's a bit tricky for you, then you could just do some simple clapping with a partner. And if you've not got a partner at all, just clap along and do a little wiggle. Okay? So, let's,
Wiggle.
a little wiggle. God can do anything. Well done. Right, today's story. Let's move a little closer.
Okay.
So, I don't know how many of you have seen magicians. Magicians often use cards that look like this. And sometimes it's easy to believe what they do, and sometimes we doubt whether they can really pull off what they say they're going to do. I'm afraid I'm no magician, I'm no good at tricks, but today's story is going to use some playing cards. So, as with many of our story will be about Jesus. Jesus was the King of love. He came because he loved each and every one of us. And many of you remember that Jesus had 12 special friends that we called disciples. Now, last week's story involved some other people. 2 special friends of Jesus who believed in him, who were walking along the road when Jesus appeared. Jesus had been dead and people were sad, but on this day, these believers didn't recognise him until he broke the bread. And then Jesus disappeared again. And the friends rushed off to tell other people. So this was a story about when Jesus appeared for one of the first times after he died. Today's story, 10 of his special friends were together in a room. They were a bit scared because they weren't sure what was going to happen. Some of the rulers were still a bit angry with Christians, and so they were hiding around and talking to one another about what might happen next. When suddenly, Jesus appeared among them. Jesus was there, and he said, "Peace be with you." And he showed them his hands, and he showed them his sides, and they were so excited and full of joy. And then Jesus disappeared again. But hang on, didn't we say before Jesus had 12 disciples, but there was only 10? Well, one of the disciples, Judas, you may remember him because he's the one who betrayed Jesus. He's the one who told the rulers where Jesus was and turned against him. So Judas wasn't there anymore because he was no longer with the other disciples and believers. And there was one more disciple that wasn't there. His name was Thomas. Now, Thomas was still one of the disciples, but he just wasn't there on that day. But all the other disciples were so excited to tell Thomas about how Jesus had appeared to them. But Thomas said, I don't believe that. How am I supposed to believe that Jesus is alive? I will only believe if I see the holes in his hands and the holes in his sides. And so, a week later, Thomas was with the 10 disciples in the room again, when once again Jesus appeared and stood among them, and he said, peace be with them. And he turned to Thomas and he said, Thomas, see my hands, see the holes, see my sides, see the holes. And he said, Thomas, why do you doubt? Believe. So many people will not see me and they will still believe. And so they were all filled with joy because they had seen that Jesus was alive. Okay, so I've got my friend coming along to talk to us a little bit more about this, because I did say he could join in again. Let me just see, where is he? Stevie, where are you? You're a bit late. I hope you're happier today than you were last week. Oh, here he is, look. Here he is. Here's Stevie. Can you just come round here a bit, Stevie, so everyone can see you? There we go. Say hello to everybody at home. Hello. Fantastic. You look a bit happier today, Stevie. That's really good, because you were so sad last week, weren't you? I'm glad you're happier. Oh, you've been talking to lots of your friends. Oh, that's really good. You haven't been to their houses, have you? No, good boy. Oh, you've been using Zoom and you've been FaceTiming. That's really, really good. But you're a bit confused about one of your friends. Okay, what happened? He's been building a spaceship out of toilet rolls. Well, that sounds really fun. Yeah, you like, oh, that sounds like a really good idea. But he said he flew to the moon in his rocket. And you're not sure whether to believe him. That is a bit tricky, isn't it? Because sometimes children say things like that. You really want to believe him, but you didn't see it. It's hard, isn't it? Yeah, you didn't see him fly to the moon. Well, do you know what, Stevie? I think that's a bit of a tricky thing to believe, because I've tried to make things out of cardboard boxes before, and it's great fun to make them, but they're not really strong enough to fly to the moon, are they? So no, I wouldn't believe that. I think that he's just been playing with you. But he said he really had. Yeah, I know he said he really had, but I don't think he really did that. I tell you what, let's just change the subject a bit. After this is all finished, I'm going to go and make you some pasta for tea, okay? And maybe that'll take your mind off this flying to space thing. Would that be a good idea? No? Why not? You don't believe me? Why don't you believe me? I'm just going to go and make some pasta. It's one of your favourites.
This is the best bit.
You don't believe me because you don't think I've got any pasta?
This is the best bit.
Oh, Stevie, I've got pasta. I put it in the cupboard myself. But there isn't any pasta left in the shops. There is pasta now again. I know there's a shortage for a while, but you can get pasta. I've got it in the cupboard. I'm going to cook it for tea. But you haven't seen it. Oh, I know, Stevie. Sometimes it's difficult to believe. I'm going to show you after tea, after we've finished here, and then we'll know that it's all okay and you can have some pasta for tea. Just like the story, Thomas found it difficult to believe until he saw Jesus. And today people find it difficult to believe because they can't see Jesus. But we can see other things that remind us that Jesus is here with us, that God is a creator God. We see all the beautiful trees outside, the sun shining, the sea, and all the other lovely things. Family, friends, they remind us of how much God loves us. So we might not be able to see Jesus here with us, but we can see lots of other things that he does. Sounds a bit complicated. It is, but we'll talk about that a bit later, a bit more, okay? Maybe some of you want to talk about that a bit more. You can contact us, or you might have a pastor or some other friends who you can talk about if you're not quite sure whether you believe just because you can't see. It's time to get on. Yeah, we need to do some praying now. We've got our prayer activity, okay? So you can go and sit over there, okay? And you can join us with our prayers.
I'll show you the pasta early.
Now, so for our prayers today, if you had my pack, you will have got some of these little loom bands in your pack. Maybe you've got some at home somewhere. If you have, you could pause the video and collect them now. If you haven't, or can use elastic bands, or you can just use your fingers. Okay, so don't worry too much if it's not something that you can have. So, the first part of our prayers today, we're going to be thinking of those things that are good, that we want to say thank you to God for. We've just talked about how God is a creator God. So think of some things that you can say thank you to God for, and each time you put a band on, we're going to say thank you to God. So I'm going to say thank you to God for the trees and the flowers that he has made.
Thank you for the sunny skies.
Thank you for family and friends.
Thank you for always being with us.
Thank you that we can have fun and laugh together.
Thank you for church family.
And thank you that you love us, no matter what.
And thank you for letting us be together.
Thank you. Right, now, this pointy finger is the one sometimes we point at people and blame people or we do wrong things. And so with this finger, we're going to say sorry to God. So as we put the bands on this finger, you might want to quietly say sorry to God for the wrong things that you've done. Sorry for the wrong things that you've said. And sorry for the wrong things that you have thought. And then we're going to jump across to the little finger, because we're all quite little really, and our God is so big. But our God is so big that he can do anything at all, as we sung. And so this little finger, we're going to ask God, we're going to say, please God, can you? And so as you put the bands on there, I'm going to say, please God, once again, be with all the doctors and the nurses as they help the unwell people at this time.
Please God help the people. I meant the unwell people. Sorry.
Maybe you know somebody who's not very well and you want to mention them by name. I'm going to say, please God, be with our friend Alexander and be with my friend Heather. And thank you, God, that you hear all our prayers. In Jesus' name, Amen. Fantastic. Now, some of you might have had this colouring sheet in your pack that you can also colour in, that is about our story today. But we also have an activity that you can do. Hopefully, if you have the pack, you've got a piece of paper like this. If not, again, you can pause and grab it, or you can watch and then you can do this activity afterwards. So for this activity, you need to fold the piece of paper in half, like this, and then you need to put your hand on the paper with your thumb and the next finger against the folded edge. Okay, and draw around your hand while it is on the paper like that, so that when you cut it out, it will look like this. And you will have a little heart shape there in the middle. Again, if you had my pack, you'll have had some little heart shapes, like this one here. You can pop these in the middle of the hands to show and represent the holes in the hands of Jesus where he was nailed on the cross. And the hearts represent his great love for us when he died there. And then we have a verse that says, stop your doubting and believe. John chapter 20, verse 27. This is where the story was found in the Bible. It's in John chapter 20. You can stick that on to remind you all week that we can believe that Jesus loves us, that we don't need to doubt it at all, because he's always with us and he will always love us. So there's an activity. Maybe if you do manage to do that, you can write the verse on. You can do it however you like. You can decorate the hands. We'd love to see what it looks like when you finish. Please do send me a picture if you can. So that activity will look fantastic. So to finish off today, we're going to sing one more song, because we do like to be happy. So we did this last week, so hopefully you might have picked it up a bit. Again, thanks to Doug Hawley. So we're going to jump up and down and have a bit of a crazy time to finish. And just before we leave, I'll just be showing you some of the resources you might need for next week. Okay, so you can collect those before you come and see us again. So, be happy. Well done. It was great to be with you again today, as I promised. Next week, if you can manage it, you will need a paper plate like this. Does not matter what size. You will need some little bits of blue paper. I've got tissue paper, it can be crepe paper, it can be sugar paper, any different type of blue paper. If you got my pack, you had some little fish stickers, you will need those, but you don't have to have fish stickers, you can have little bits of paper to make little fish. And you need some string. Quite a lot there for the activity. But also, you'll need a pipe cleaner. This was one pipe cleaner, which I've just cut the top little bit off of. Okay, so if you've got one of those as well, that'd be brilliant. But once again, if you haven't got it, it doesn't matter. You will still be able to join in. There'll be plenty to do. So, thank you for joining us. Wherever you are, have a fantastic week. And hopefully we'll see you again soon. Please do give us a comment so that we know that you've watched it and let us know what you think. Have a good week. Bye.
Bye bye, guys.
Bye.